Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a new episode of Kaiju Conversation. As always, I am joined by my co-host,
Haxorzilla. And also today, as a special surprise guest, we have Justus. How you doing, Justus?
I'm doing all right. It's good to be back.
It sounds like you've missed the podcast, Justus. So before we get into the main topic, if you don't mind, just a little catch up. How have you been the past few months?
I've been pretty good.
Okay. That's pretty interesting. So today we will be doing an episode. Oh, before we get into that, has anybody read any cool articles about upcoming movies, or anybody excited for an upcoming movie? Out of
No.
curiosity.
No,
No.
ever since King of the Monsters and Endgame came out, there's not really a movie I'm looking forward to. I'm slightly looking forward to Far From Home, but not that much, and Godzilla versus King Kong, but that's not until like a little bit of a ways away.
It's a great thing you brought up Godzilla versus Kong, Justice, because that is today's topic. Godzilla versus Kong. One will fall. I did not mean for that to rhyme. I didn't.
Better be calm.
Kind of did. We can talk about that here in a little bit. To start off, we're just going to discuss what we think the movie will be like going into it after all of the fallout from Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Okay, real quick, I really don't think it's going to be as good as King of the Monsters was.
Me neither.
I agree with you there. I feel like
They
now
set the stake too high.
No,
Mhm.
plus too many iffy people is working on that. The director, what's his face?
Adam Wingard.
Yeah,
and then you have Russell from Deadpool.
and then you also have one of the writers who I think he worked on Alien Covenant, and that's literally it.
Oh God.
And then you have Mike co-writing that. So yeah, this is going to be a
True.
great movie.
I do just want to bring up that I believe, Justice, our first episode on this podcast was one of the topics was Godzilla versus Kong, if I believe so. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I apologize for rehashing over the same ground, but I feel like this movie
But
itself deserves a full episode.
That might have been lost. I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure it's still on here. But anyway, Haxor, you brought up how Godzilla vs. Kong will probably not live up to King of the Monsters.
Yeah, they set the bar too high.
I agree. Just a little analogy. When Star Wars
Force Awakens?
No, Empire Strikes Back came out, a lot of people didn't care for it. People thought that it was awful, that the original Star Wars was the best. And I think we can all agree now Empire is said to be the greatest Star Wars movie of all time.
It's my
I guess
favorite.
I've never seen any Star Wars movie but Force Awakens.
That's
Blasphemy.
I know. I haven't really been a Star Wars fan.
I wasn't either until I just sat down and watched them all, but they're good. I'm not a hardcore fan, but
I've
you
also
know,
never really been a Star Trek fan.
I love Star Trek.
Blasphemy. Not you,
But,
Haxor.
Yeah.
I also
know.
really don't like Ninja Turtles.
Blasphemy.
That's okay. That's okay. Anyway, I do think that down the road, Godzilla King of the Monsters will get a cult following. If that, not like in a bad way, but like trying to think of a movie. The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension. It's a very weird movie. At the time, people, I don't believe, really took it very well. Now it's got a cult following, and people like that movie. I
I
think
don't
the
know what
same
you're
will
talking
happen.
about. I don't
Yeah,
know what
me
you're
neither.
talking about. It seems pretty mainstream to me.
Really?
Yeah, it seems pretty mainstream to me.
I'm trying to think of... not Flash Gordon. I'm trying to. Q, the winged serpent. That
Yeah?
movie has gained a cult following. Q, the winged serpent.
Godzilla.
Yeah,
Okay,
King
here's
of the
a
Monsters
better.
is nothing like Q the
Okay, here's a
what
better
Q the Winged
analogy.
Beast was like.
Here's a better analogy. Godzilla versus Megalon.
No,
Eh,
you guys are
I
awful
don't.
at analogies.
Yeah, that's not. I'm trying to.
I think
Well,
what it
it's not a very good movie, but
what it might
like
what it might
Godzilla
turn out
fans like
what it might
say like think it's good.
what it might turn out like is possibly Cloverfield, and the fact that at first it was a blockbuster, and then it had like a little bit of a dead time, and then once it got like about probably 5 years old, then it was like nostalgic type of thing.
I can kind of see that. Now I'm not entirely sure about this, but the Transformers, the movie from 1986.
Yes, that actually is a good
Yeah.
comparison, because that
When
one.
it came out, people thought it was awful and stuff, and personally, it's my favorite
But
Transformers movie
didn't
of
it
all time.
didn't it like
Flop. It flopped at
oh,
the
it
box office.
flopped? Okay, well
I'm
then
pretty
never mind.
sure.
It's not. No,
Hold on.
no, it's not a good
This
analogy then.
this
Well,
King
I
of the
don't think it did good.
This King of the Monster situation reminds me of another situation that happened. So the video game Days Gone, it came out and the critics said it was like really bad. And then when like the player or like when the people like just like your average people started like talking about it, they actually said it was really good. So same thing kind of goes with King of the Monsters.
Yeah. I'm just checking real quick. It has a 58% on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's not heavily viewed to be such a great movie. But it had a budget between $6 or $5 million. It doesn't. It just says it's between those two, and its box office was 5.8 million, and I believe that's adjusted, or 2.6 million. So it
Is it
made
out in
about
China
half
yet?
of its budget. What?
Is it out in China yet?
Godzilla?
Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Oh yeah, it was out opening day in China.
Oh.
In fact, it got a extended run, but it's not the greatest example. And I hate when people say Godzilla's flopping at the box office because
I
it's
was about to
not.
say, yeah. I've heard you
It's
say it's flopping at the box
No,
office, ET.
it's not. I said Transformers did. Godzilla King of the Monsters is not a flop. It is a modest hit. That is what it is. It's not doing good. It's not doing bad. It's modest. They've made their money
I
back.
would say it's doing good, but I wouldn't say it's doing great.
Well, I mean, it's not making the money as 2014 or Kong Skull Island. Because I believe this was the most expensive movie in the MonsterVerse yet, with about a $240 million budget. Or no, 340. And
How much did it make back again?
It's almost at the $400 million mark.
Well, that's
So-
almost double your profit back. That's good in
Well-
my book if you make double back.
Well, that's not including marketing. That's the problem. Marketing budget.
Wait,
So
it doesn't? The 200 million?
the 200 million, it's between 170 and 200 for the production budget. Then you times that by 2, and that's generally the total cost with marketing and the production. So it's broke even, and it's now starting to make money. It's not.
I didn't see
Too
that much
much.
marketing for it though. Is the thing?
I didn't either. I really didn't. Every
So
movie I saw prior.
I don't think you could say like double. Like
Well, no,
the
it's
original
confirmed
budget.
that it was double. Look at all the TV spots. Look at how much it did at the NBA. Look at, all of that costs money. All the figures, all the posters. That's all
Yeah, but
into the marketing
the
budget.
figures are gonna make money back by themselves by selling the figures.
But there's not. Well, the figures and the money is different. Like,
Then why'd you
okay,
include it?
so I don't know. So you have the posters that are everywhere that they pay money for, billboards, TV spots in not only America but worldwide. Then you have over the radio ads, or people saying go see
I
Godzilla
didn't
King of
hear
the
any radio ads
Monsters.
is the thing.
True, but that doesn't mean other people didn't. If I recall, there's about 700 TV spots and other terms of marketing for King of the Monsters. So much so that every day on Twitter feeds, I would see, oh, new Godzilla TV spot like 3 times. So
If I
they
was not a
made plenty.
Okay, here's the thing. If I was not a Godzilla fan, I probably would not have known a single thing about this movie. I saw that little marketing where I'm at.
I agree though there, because I want to say, ever since Aquaman, I kept looking for the Godzilla King of the Monsters trailer to play at my theater, and there was never a single trailer during any of the movies. That's Glass, Avengers Endgame, Captain Marvel, Bumblebee, and Aquaman, which really got me disappointed. Every time we went, I kept saying, please play a trailer, and I never saw one. So,
Well, the thing is, I kind of saw the trailer. Okay, so you know how like at some movie theaters they'll have like it's like a promotional thing for like all the different upcoming movies that are like,
Oh yeah, I
but
saw one of those.
it'll only show like 5 seconds of it. It'll show like things that are starting to come out, and then it'll show like stuff that you can get at the lobby, and then it'll like show because it's like it's a corporate chain, so they have like this one commercial for themselves that they always play before every single movie, and in that commercial they usually put like upcoming movies. I would see for every single time I went to one specific movie theater, the Godzilla shooting his atomic breath up into the air. At least every single time I would see that, but besides that, I saw practically no marketing for this movie. And
I
I think I did see a commercial when I went and saw in game for King of the Monsters.
Oh, and speaking of that, of course, a lot of that marketing, I bet, went to the IMAX trailer that was shown at every movie at the beginning, the 5-minute preview. So that's probably where a lot of it went, was that just that IMAX trailer alone. And then, of course, they have to pay people to make those trailers, which, honestly, those people should have been fired because they spoiled everything, and the TV spots and trailers they sent out weren't that good. Except for trailer 1 and 2. Trailer 1 and 2 was basically it for me. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, but trailer 2 spoiled Burning Godzilla.
I'm like, I kind of wish I didn't see all the trailers in all honesty, because of the fact that it gave away too much. And that was my biggest issue whenever I went and saw the movie. The trailers gave away too much.
Yeah, and speaking of that, back onto Godzilla vs. Kong, I know personally I'm going to see the first trailer and possibly the second trailer, but other than that, I'm not watching another thing.
Honestly, I don't even know about the second trailer.
I know, like, it's so iffy now because Warner Brothers likes to spoil everything in the first 3 trailers. Do I watch this and get spoiled, or do I have it as temptation and then a day before watch it?
I'm not going to see a single trailer. You don't want to know why? I know I'm going to see it. I know I am.
That's very true.
But here's the thing. If I do go and see it, I would rather be going completely blind, because of the fact that from my experiences with King of the Monsters, I've learned that the trailers are going to give too much away. And I basically, in all honesty, I think I might have said this before, but if I wanted to rewatch King of the Monsters, but I don't have time for it, I could totally rewatch all of the trailers and probably get almost the exact same amount of enjoyment out of it. Not the exact same amount of enjoyment, but all the nostalgia would flow back if it was after like a couple of years.
Yeah, I saw a comment on one of the Spider-Man Far From Home trailers, and it said, "Legend has it, if you watch all these trailers, you get the full movie." And that was kind of funny. And that's basically...
Endgame's trailers were really good.
Yeah,
Yes.
because it showed the first 25 minutes, and that was it. And they had fake scenes and all that. And I wish Warner Brothers and DC, or not DC, Warner Brothers and Legendary could do that from now on. You know,
Well, they
put in
did.
fake scenes.
They didn't just show 25 minutes.
'Cause,
Just
like,
only the
they're
25 minutes because they showed very little of the rest of the movie, because they did show like whenever Thanos gets back on Earth after him time traveling into the future, in like the last trailer, they did show that.
yeah. But ET, there was one part of a TV spot where you could see King Ghidorah without his head.
I heard about that later, yeah.
Like they really should have like CGI'd a head on.
Yeah.
Like what they
Even if it
did
looks
for
awful.
Infinity War.
Yeah. Exactly like what they did with Infinity War. Even if it looks awful, just don't spoil the movie, okay?
They did great
Yeah.
with Infinity War.
Yeah, they did great with Infinity War, but King of the Monsters kind of just threw it all away when it came to 50,000 TV spots.
Well, the thing, I guess they might have known the fact that it probably won't make too much of the budget back, maybe. And what they did was they didn't want to have to sink in more budget into CGing that stuff off or on, in the case of Ghidorah's head being missing.
Yeah.
And that definitely takes money to do that.
True, but anyway, to get man, King of the Monsters is awesome, and we were talking about before about how Godzilla vs. Kong is probably going to be a lot lower on the bar when it comes to good movies. Could we go into detail on why we think that? I know we already brought up the director's questionable, the
A lot of the
writers is questionable, what we've heard behind the scenes, which isn't a whole lot, kind of questionable.
I haven't heard anything.
Was it King of the Monsters or Godzilla vs. Kong where there was a bear that came on the set one day on accident?
Oh, you mean wolves? Oh.
No, I thought it was
accident.
a bear. I thought it was a bear that accident.
Wait, on accident?
Yeah, that accidentally.
Oh, because I thought you were talking about a long time ago when there was like this thing said wolves on site do not like.
No, I remember like it was either King of the Monsters or Godzilla vs. Kong where there was a tweet that said there was a bear that accidentally came on set. And they
I don't remember that.
I don't either.
I remember it.
Was it recent or was it a little while ago?
It was a long time ago.
Then it was probably King of the Monsters, because Godzilla vs. Kong started filming in October, and it wrapped up filming about 3 months ago. So
Wow, it's a short movie.
Well, I mean, a lot of it will be CGI purely, so it takes about 60 days to film a movie, and I think that's what they did with Godzilla vs. Kong.
Well, that depends. It depends on it depends on a lot of things.
True, but it's
a standard movie. It takes 60.
Yeah, and then like
Something
I said,
like Endgame.
Something like Endgame would take a lot longer.
It took a year because they filmed those two movies at the same time, the same crew with each movie. So, yeah, and I do kind of find it funny. Spoilers for Endgame here, but Thor, whenever he was Bro Thor, as we found out his official name, or Fat Thor, whichever, he filmed a scene for Infinity War, and then as soon as that wrapped up, he would put on the fat suit and he would film for Endgame. And I thought that was kind of funny how
Yeah.
one moment he was super slim, the next moment he was a 300-pound dude.
That was actually not that bad of a fat suit. In all honesty, no.
But what other than like what I said about the director and all that, what else do you feel like Godzilla vs. Kong's going to fall down on?
Well, I feel like the tension won't be as great as it was in King of the Monsters, because like you had King Ghidorah there.
Yeah. And I don't think Kong is like all that powerful compared to Ghidorah.
Yeah, and also I don't think the soundtrack's gonna be as good unless if they bring back Bear McCreary.
I hope they do. I hope he becomes like the composer.
Oh, I thought they
For
already.
these
I thought
movies.
they already decided who the composer was going to be for Godzilla vs Kong.
I don't think they do that for a while. I
Oh.
think that's one of the last things they work on is the music.
Unless it's something like.
Well, the music goes with the scene, so.
Unless it's something like Baby Driver, but then again, those songs were made decades beforehand.
Well, what they did was like James Gunn does this for his Guardian movies. He writes the scene and he thinks about a song
Yes.
he would want.
Yes.
And then he tries to get that song, but there's on rare occasion they can't get that song.
Well,
But
actually, what happened
that's-
with Baby Driver was they got a whole entire like USB of songs that they were going to get onto the movie no matter what. And what they did was they wrote the script around those songs.
Yeah, but that's kind of different because that's not composing. That's
know,
more
yeah.
like adding a soundtrack. This is composing. And like Akari Fukube, he went into the original blind because he had no idea what he was composing for. But after that, whenever he saw what it was, he would compose it afterwards with the group looking at the scene so they knew what was going on during
Yeah.
that. But so music, I can kind of see that. But like I said, please bring back Bear McCreary. He is great for a powerful, majestic soundtrack.
I'd even be good with the one who composed 2014. 'Cause that was pretty
Alexander
good.
Yeah.
Desplat or whatever. Yeah, he also did Iron Man, I believe. Wait, no. The guy that did Iron Man did Pacific Rim, which he also I liked his
I'd be-
soundtrack.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Pacific.
I'd be good at Pacific Rim.
That'd actually be a really good one.
Okay. But I know. Well, this one we had songs like Godzilla by Blue Oyster Cult come back, and of course the Godzilla and Mothra themes. Is there any specific songs you want them to bring back? I know a lot of people want the main Godzilla or King Kong versus Godzilla theme to come back, and I do agree with that.
The plan to transport King Kong.
Yeah, imagine that like remade.
That would be good.
I'd like to hear the Beast too.
Mm-hmm.
The
And
main. The two ones I really want is, of course, the main theme, and again the plan to transport Godzilla versus King Kong, the one that goes doom.
Yeah.
That.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the main theme's the one that starts off like dun. Yeah, I think that's it. And it was also in
Yeah.
King Kong, or it was also in Godzilla Final
That'd
Wars,
actually
if I
be a
recall.
that would be a really good one for Bear McCreary to redo because of the fact that it
Yeah.
already has chanting in it.
Yeah, and I would like to see what they did with
Imagine that chanting replaced with King Ghidorah's chanting.
I would like to see how they could do the native islanders on was it Mondo? No, that was
Iwis.
well.
But it's
What
Skull
if
Island.
the Iwis kind of started to do music and they did the one from King Kong versus Godzilla or something?
Could be interesting.
But so we've discussed soundtrack.
I'd like to hear the military march.
That would be cool. I think it's only a matter of time before they bring
Yeah.
that one because that's very, very well.
I think it's only a matter of time before we start to see like really specific ones.
Yeah. So we've talked about the soundtrack. Why don't we discuss characters? Because I know right now we know Millie Bobby Brown's going to return, and we
I
know
didn't
that.
know that.
Yeah, Millie Bobby Brown and
Kyle
Kyle Chandler.
Chandler.
Oh.
Yeah.
And of course, Zaya Zing. And has Thomas Middleditch been confirmed for the movie?
Not sure. Don't think so.
Okay. I hope they bring back Bradley Whitford. That would be so awesome. I love his.
I think those extra Monarch people, other than Dr. Chen, will not be coming back.
That I wish they did. Or even
Well, I'd like
Colonel
Ken,
Stantz. That
I'd
one
like to see him die in the movie.
Who?
Stant, the army guy from
True.
2014, and it would be like a good round off to have him like die.
I could see that, like him being on a boat and he's firing at Godzilla, and then like Godzilla charges through the boat.
It would be fitting for Godzilla to get his revenge on him.
After
He's
trying to kill him multiple times.
Like, he should just learn.
I can't remember. Is it confirmed that there will be more Godzilla movies after this or not?
No, they legally, Legendary can't even discuss that. They can do it not officially. They can't go into Legendary in the writer's room and be like, let's write a possible Godzilla 3 script. They can't do that because of copyright laws. Same thing goes for the X-Men and Fantastic Four.
laws.
Yes. So until Warner Brothers, Legendary, and Toho meet up and they're like, hey, the MonsterVerse is still financially successful to a certain extent. Why don't we bring back and do more of these? That's where Toho can either yank their ownership or lease of the character rights, or they can be like, sure, let's do co-financing from now on.
Also, okay, back to the actors. I think Adam Brooks will be in the movie potentially. Real quick, because Lance Reddick is casted for the movie, and we don't know who he's playing. So it's a possibility that he could be playing.
I'm bad with names.
Brooks, the guy from Kong Skull Island.
Thank you.
Real quick, I do want to say, I think in our first episode, I called that in one shot, you see Brooks behind him.
Oh, yeah, I called that too.
And I'm like, that's Brooks. He looks just like him. That's the returning character. And I was right.
I was told that we would be having a returning character.
Yeah, they confirmed that there was one returning character, and I knew it was going to be Brooks.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty awesome. Anyway, I do think, though, that special effects-wise, Godzilla vs. Kong will still be great at that.
Yeah, every single MonsterVerse movie has been really good with effects.
Yes. And
people are saying CGI is getting bad.
Well,
to a certain extent.
Was bad with lighting, but...
True, lighting's off.
When you could actually see 2014, it was good. Ding.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do hope now. I'm not one of those people that's like, if it doesn't have a daylight scene, it's gonna be an awful movie. I want Godzilla in the daylight. You know, I mean,
no,
I don't.
It's not that. It's just the fact that
it would be nice to have
it was too dark. That final scene. It was like the final scene in War of the Gargantuas. You couldn't see a gosh darn thing.
Well, I mean, like Godzilla or King of the Monsters. A lot of people said that they're tired of Godzilla fighting in the dark, and that he's never in daylight. Which Kong Skull Island had Kong out in the open daylight, multiple sequences. And I just feel like Godzilla's more of a darker character, but I do think with this one especially, we will start to get a daylight fight sequence.
Well, he was out
I-
in the daylight in King of the Monsters whenever.
But it was at the
out-
very end.
No, it was out in the sea.
Was
Like-
that in the? Well, that was
Yeah,
still kind of stormy. It wasn't.
It was
playing
stormy,
out
but that
in the
was
daylight.
daylight. That was daylight. It was.
But it
daylight.
wasn't clear. Like, there's still clouds covering. It's still kind of darkened. People want a bright, sunny daylight scene of Godzilla fighting. That's what basically.
We have not
what
had a
people
bright
say.
sun. We have not had a bright sunny scene with him yet, except for the ending scene, which
Yeah.
we haven't had a bright sunny fight scene with him yet. But we have
Yes.
had a day fight scene with him.
To a certain extent, yes. But I know a lot of people complain about rain and darkness. That's what a lot of people complained about between 2014 and King of the Monsters. And I do feel like that Godzilla vs. Kong will correct those. I feel like this will be a bright movie like Kong Skull Island and have the feel of Kong Skull Island while having the story and idea of Godzilla.
Also, what's with Kyle Chandler having the same house as Tony Stark?
Wait, what?
Apparently, the house is the same.
That's weird.
Hey guys, I just remembered something. I'm having a little bit of a brain fart. How did Millie Bobby Brown get like wet hair in like the final fight scene?
It was raining.
Rain.
It was raining?
Yeah, everywhere Ghidorah goes, it's raining.
Oh yeah, it was. I don't remember it raining though.
I need to rewatch the movie again just because
It
I need
seemed
to
like
see
it-
it.
It seemed like it rained sometimes and sometimes rained whenever whenever Ghidorah was around and
Well,
sometimes
in
it didn't.
Antarctica, it snowed.
Yeah. Everywhere
not
something
the
was
final-
falling. In
Well, the
every
final
Ghidorah
fight
scene,
scene,
there
right?
was.
It seemed like it stopped raining at some point. I don't know. Maybe I'm just remembering.
Yeah,
it
when
wrong.
he died.
Not
Yeah.
then.
Oh no, probably when Godzilla became Burning Godzilla, because it probably evaporated.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. But also, speaking of Godzilla final fight sequence, do you guys think Mothra will be back for Godzilla vs. Kong? Or are they going to hold her rebirth?
It's hard to tell.
The thing is, if there wasn't an egg, if they didn't already do the egg, well, no, they didn't do the. Wait, I can't remember at the beginning of the movie, was she in an egg or not, or was she still a
There
larva?
was an egg found by Monarch that it's Mothra's egg at the end. They confirmed that.
Oh.
So Mothra's still alive, like she usually is. Because between the fight in Boston and where she showed her god rays, Michael Dougherty confirmed she flew off, laid an egg, and came to fight for Godzilla. And then, speaking of other monsters, do you guys think we will be getting a mech in Godzilla vs. Kong?
Yes.
I
have a theory.
I don't think we will.
I have a theory.
What's your theory, Haxor?
Alright, so it was said that Monarch is building a robot on
Mechanized Titan.
on Skull Island.
Yes.
So that could possibly be in the outpost on Skull Island. And that could potentially be Mechagodzilla.
Yeah.
What I think will happen at the end is Godzilla and Kong will fight. And then, like, halfway through the battle or something, kind of like King of the Monsters, Mechagodzilla will show up.
Don't
And
you
Mothra
mean?
will
Don't you
there.
mean? Don't you mean Godzilla versus? I mean, Batman
Godzilla versus Kong.
Batman versus Superman.
No. This is different. There will still be like a fatality. Both of them, they won't team up. So what I think will happen is it will be a tag team battle at the end. It will be Godzilla and Mothra versus Mechagodzilla and Kong.
That'd be interesting. You know, I know a lot of people like team up. No, team up. Don't do team ups. No
Well,
more
they could do a
team-ups.
team up, just not Godzilla and Kong.
Well, I don't want to team up, but if they do one, if they do it right, it's not going to be awful. You know, like Ghidorah on walking on all four legs. I didn't want that. Did it turn
I
out to
wanted that.
Was it okay? Yeah, it turned out to look okay. Personally, I thought it looked kind of weird to have Ghidorah walking on all fours. But hey,
Yeah, but Michael Dougherty was directing that movie. This is Adam Wingard.
Yeah,
true.
this is a whole.
But I will give Adam Wingard the benefit of the doubt until I see a trailer. When I see the trailer, I'll make more of a final judgment. Does it look good or not?
I'm not gonna watch the trailer because I'm gonna watch it anyways. You can tell me. You can tell me what it was like, ET, if it was good or not.
Yeah, I'm only gonna watch the first trailer.
The only thing I
Agreed.
know that Adam Wingard did good on was
VHS?
VHS.
Yeah.
Did he make the sequels?
He also made VHS 2, but it's multiple stories in one, from what I know. So he just directed one of multiple.
It's it's anthologies.
Okay. But I'm going to give Adam Wingard a chance, and we'll see if my chance is ruined or not in about 5 months when we get the trailer. Speaking of that, I do think that was another problem of King of the Monsters was it released its first trailer a year before the movie came out. So people had watched this trailer and eventually they just gave up because they're like, whatever. It's taking too long. I don't want to see this. I've seen the trailer, And I do think that they might correct that this time with them not being at SDCC. They could very well hold off for quite a while until about 6 to 8 months before the movie comes out. Then they can drop that first trailer.
Here's the thing. For the first trailer, nobody was expecting it because nobody expected it to come out that early. And then for the second trailer, at least all of the G fans was like, "Where's the second trailer?" I remember all of us on the server being like, "Where's the stupid second trailer? We want the stupid second trailer." And then like this Lego movie thing came out, and we were like, "Gosh darn it, release the stupid second trailer."
Yeah, that whole video is loaded with "Where's the Godzilla King of the Monsters trailer 2?" And like all the Lego fans came in and they're like, "We don't care about your stupid Godzilla."
We should have
That's
gotten
hilarious.
Lego Godzilla.
Lego Godzilla.
I don't really.
No, like I mean, like Lego sets for the Godzilla movie. Like that would have been cool.
I don't know. That's. I could see it, but then I'm like, do we really want that though?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if Lego is legally allowed to do that. Is the thing.
Well, they could lease the rights, so
Yeah.
they could do it. But Lego's making plenty of money from Disney and Warner Brothers with DC, so I think they're okay. And let's be honest here, Godzilla is not the most profitable thing. If you had a Godzilla King of the Monsters,
Sure he is. Little kids love giant monsters.
but if you had an Avengers Endgame final fight sequence with 500 characters and cool sets against a Godzilla with a few buildings, what's going to be bought first? The Avengers stuff. We're in a time now where superhero
Unless you're an
movies
intellectual.
dominate the market. But even then, like, Marvel is way more popular than Godzilla ever was.
That's a big part of the reason why is because of the fact that they build trust over the years. Godzilla has literally only had 2 movies and 1 spin-off movie.
What do you mean?
Yeah, Skull Island.
Oh, you're talking about the MonsterVerse. Okay, I wasn't sure if you were talking about the Godzilla franchise or MonsterVerse, but the MonsterVerse is still young, so people saying the MonsterVerse is doomed, I do not believe that whatsoever.
Well,
even if they lost.
The thing is, it felt like King of the Monsters was supposed to be like Avengers, and Warner Brothers did a similar goof up with Justice League in the fact that they did their big crossover movie a little bit too early. It seems like.
Well, I don't know. Godzilla King of the Monsters felt natural to me. It didn't feel like they rushed it.
Yeah.
It felt natural to me only because of the fact that I'm a G fan. But if I wasn't, I would be like, ooh. It would have felt like, comparatively to the Avengers, there should have been more build up to all of the different monsters.
Well, I mean, none of the monsters are dead,
especially the
though.
new ones. Especially the new ones.
Well, they're supposed to be like... I believe these new monsters is Legendary and Warner Brothers backup. If they don't lease the rights for Godzilla again after 2020, Kong can't handle a universe by himself. So they're going to bring Rodan, Mothra, Ghidorah, and all these other monsters back in and kind of try and find a way to do it without Godzilla.
Kind of like how Sony's trying to do a Spider-Man
universe without Spider-Man.
Spider-Verse without Spider-Man, yeah.
Yeah. Morbius, Venom 1, 2, and 3, Nightwatch. Sony's in a bad spot, and they're going to learn about that here really soon. And we'll talk about Sony in a future episode, I know that. But basically, Godzilla versus...
go ahead.
Godzilla versus Kong is either A, going to make about $600 million, and they're going to continue the MonsterVerse, which if it doesn't make that, we're kind of in a bad place then, or B, it's not going to make that and we're going to be in a bad place. So, this movie, it's going to have a controversial ending no matter which way it goes. I think we can all agree with that, right?
Yeah.
Haxor, I know you have strong feelings about who should win.
Godzilla, all the way.
And Justus, who do you want?
I want... The thing is, I can't really say... I want Godzilla to win, but the thing is, I know he can't lose because of the fact that like one law thing, and it's like, would I rather say I want Godzilla to win, and it sound like the fact that I want Godzilla to win because I know he's gonna win, or am I gonna say King Kong and lie?
Yeah, true. I mean, I know Michael Dougherty said that the story is a lot of like one of those Rocky movies. I don't remember which one. How it's an underdog movie, and I do agree that
first Rocky.
Oh, okay,
that one's the underdog. That one's the underdog one, and then the Rocky 2 is kind of like the not exactly. It's kind of like a grudge movie for... It depends on who you're looking at it from. Anyways, continue.
Well, Kong is the underdog, and people will probably be rooting for him. The mainstream audiences that want to connect with monsters, Kong's the more relatable one. But then on the other side of the spectrum, like you said, Toho has it so you cannot kill Godzilla. Which they could have made a secret deal where they're like, hey, we know you want to do in your own universe. Can we kill Godzilla at the end of our movie?
The thing is, I wanted one of them to die. I want one of them to die.
I know, yeah. There has to be a definitive winner with one of them surviving
Kong
and
should
dying.
at least lose his...
Well, I feel like at the end it will be, and I know a lot of people have actually said this, but this is my personal opinion, and I came up with this. I want Kong to be bleeding out, dying. Godzilla steps on Kong. Kong tries to lift Godzilla's foot off, but he doesn't have the strength, and Godzilla's about ready to kill him, and then Godzilla gets a realization he's only a kid. I'm not going to kill him.
He's only a kid.
No, he's not.
He is.
He's older.
Well, to Godzilla, he'll still be a kid. Godzilla's at least
He's a
500
punk
years
teen.
old.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
a punk teen.
And I do feel like Godzilla will get a realization he's an alpha trying to protect his own turf. I'm not going to kill him. Maybe he can help me down the road. And Godzilla just roars and then walks into the ocean. Kong gets up, looks kind of sad, and then he kind of beats his
Okay,
chest, roars.
Wanna what I want to happen?
Shoot for it.
One of them to die.
So Kong has like Godzilla down, and he's about to kill him. He tries to grab open his jaws, and like pry them open, and he almost does. And then Godzilla starts charging up his atomic breath. It's like blue, and then like as it gets like to the middle spine, it turns red, and then he shoots his spiral ray into Kong's face and kills him.
That'd be funny.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
But I
but
do
it'd be
feel
a little
like
bit over the
though,
top. Well,
yeah.
These movies are completely over the top. Whatever.
But
what
I
am
mean, let's
saying?
be honest here. They're probably not going to show Godzilla blowing off Kong's head and then gore everywhere. I don't
Well,
think.
it wouldn't be like that.
But I do
Singe's
think.
face. Singe's
I
face,
do.
like basically Two-Face from
Batman.
Yeah, just
The-
really burn it up.
from The Dark Knight, except for not half of his face, the whole front of his face.
And I do like that you brought up the fact of his beam. I do feel like because Kong's gonna die like quickly with Godzilla's heat ray. There's nothing about that. He's gonna die. So I feel like Kong will have the agility to dodge it like Ghidorah did, and I do feel like that's how Kong is going to have somewhat of an upper hand. Is he has the agility over Godzilla, especially his heat ray.
I think what he might do is he might hide behind buildings and like keep out of sight too.
Show intelligence, yeah.
Well, Godzilla's also really smart.
Well, he's
True.
not really smart. He's just he doesn't really.
I don't like it. I don't like it when people say Godzilla's stupid.
He's not stupid, no.
Well, dumb.
Well,
Because he's not dumb.
it depends on what.
He's adaptive.
It depends on
He's
which.
a slow learner.
In the multiverse, in the monsterverse, he's
Do you think this
smart
is?
in quotations.
Well, I think what Godzilla is in the MonsterVerse is he's a slow learner and he adapts to his problems. Because, I mean, it took Godzilla a while to learn how to kill the Mutos.
I think
And
of him
then-
kind of like Wolverine in the MonsterVerse.
Go on. I'm kind of interested on how you connected Wolverine to this.
Well, in the fact that he kind of like works on his own, but if he sometimes he'll join up with his gang. In other words, for Wolverine, it's the X-Men, and then for Godzilla, it's Rodan and Mothra. Well, in at least the MonsterVerse, it's Mothra, and
Yeah.
now it'll be Rodan and like the other new kaiju. If he needs help, and he's kind of like brooding, and he'll like get up in your face, but he won't kill you unless you like really make him angry.
I gotcha. Yeah, and I guess, yeah, because especially now, because he spared Rodan's life, and Rodan was against him, and then, yeah, I gotcha. I can see that. I can see Godzilla as a Wolverine type. Doesn't play well with others. Genius,
No.
billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
What the heck?
In case you people at home don't know, I was saying he's kind of like Tony Stark. He's the one that created this universe, and he's the one that kind of...
Yeah, well, the thing is, Tony Stark isn't like the type of person that would get up in your face unless you're Captain America.
Very true, very true. But he does have that witty attitude that
Well, I don't think
feel like...
I don't think Godzilla really has a witty attitude. He seems more like brooding. I would make more of a comparison to Batman more than I would Tony Stark. with Godzilla's personality. Because
I guess you could
Batman-
kind of say it's the Hulk, really. And why are we comparing him to superheroes now?
because of the fact that relating him to human-like qualities, because he has human-like qualities.
He's like Jumbo Ace.
He's like Jim Borges.
But I'm trying to think what we haven't touched on about Godzilla vs. Kong. Oh, cast. We kind of touched on it, but we haven't really gone into detail. Do you guys feel like the cast is okay?
I haven't looked at the cast.
It's got one of the guys from Battleship. Millie Bobby Brown, Kyle Chandler, Zai Zing.
Those three you just mentioned are the only good ones.
That's basic. Oh, and then the guy from Deadpool 2 and Once Upon a Deadpool. The
Yeah.
guy
What?
that played Fire Fist. The
Oh,
fat
Yeah, I'm not
kid.
excited for that.
No
the
offense.
the chubby kid, the one
Yeah.
that had
Russell.
the one that had a prison stuck something in his prison wallet.
Sure. Yeah.
The one that literally couldn't watch the movie that he was in. Did you know that he couldn't watch that?
Yeah,
He literally could
I
not
knew
watch
it.
the movie that he was in.
Was it
I knew
because it
that.
was rated R, or
Yeah.
was it because...
it's because he was in it.
yeah.
I wonder how that worked on set.
That's very interesting. Oh, speaking of that, do you think that him and Millie Bobby Brown will have good chemistry? I don't
Yes.
think they will.
I think they would.
I don't know.
I think it might kind of feel like a Mary Jane and what's his face from Spider-Man: Homecoming, the guy in the chair.
Oh, Ned.
Yeah, might kind of feel like that. Ned
I
and
could see
Mary
that.
Jane.
Well, MJ. Michelle,
Where-
whatever. But, well, I'm trying to think. We've touched on the CGI. Oh, I know a lot of people were concerned, and this is going back to Adam Wingard. We're really trashing him. Do you guys think that he'll try and pull a horror movie on us and have it a lot in shadows?
I'd be okay with that.
I don't know. I feel like if they did a horror movie, it should be a solo Godzilla movie. I don't think him
Yeah.
fighting another monster is kind
Imagine
of...
him directing Shin Godzilla.
I mean, if he'd made a horror-esque movie like that, perfect. That would work great. Justus, what do you think about that? A horror movie type Godzilla?
I don't know.
I mean,
if
the
that would-
original was very... It had horror movie-esque.
Well, the thing is, it could work, but not with the multiverse. I keep on saying that. They both start with M.
True.
With the MonsterVerse, because the MonsterVerse is now set up a kind of not a campy,
cheesy.
not a cheesy.
To a certain extent, it's camp and cheesy.
Well, it's like how Avengers is not it has its laughable moments, but it has its serious moments.
But
It's not
I
a
mean-
comedy.
To be honest, I know a lot of people have condemned how 2014 was a very down-to-earth movie, and then it got worse. But look at the MCU. Iron Man 1 was a very realistic world movie. The Incredible Hulk, a little bit more out there, but still very realistic. Iron Man 2, Thor.
Endgame.
But what I'm getting to is Phase 1 was a very realistic world. Not very much comic book-esque to it. Then Phase 2 kind of started to get out there, but they're still like, no, we have to keep this real world. And now movies like Guardians 2, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, they're now starting to embrace it's a comic book. And now they're starting to bring that comic book-esque feel to it. So the MonsterVerse is just falling in line with the other universes on how it is adapting and becoming more of what the actual product and item is. But let's see. We've talked about lighting. We've talked about the special effects. Oh, I was thinking about this. Do you guys think they'll change Godzilla's design even more? Like tweak it so it's a little more of a
Possibly,
similar.
because they need new figures.
Yeah,
Yes, I
probably,
feel like
probably
they
will
might.
because of that. Yeah, Haxor brings up a good point. They'll probably do it because of that.
I think they'll slim Godzilla down a little bit, and then his fins will get larger. His eyes will get
God.
larger.
I think
Teeth
they
will
might
get
do the
larger.
opposite. I think they might do the
I-
opposite to make him more lumbering. That way, Kong has even more of a speed advantage.
They should give him ears.
No,
No. That kind is where it gets campy. But
I think he'd look good with ears.
I don't know. I don't think this version, like, they would have to have little. They would have to start it off. They couldn't just full on. Here's some ears. He would have to grow
Whoa.
into them.
isn't this the first Godzilla that has visible gills?
No.
No.
Shin Godzilla does.
Showa.
Showa Godzillas do. Godzilla 98. You
I
can
know the
kind of
Showa
see them.
I know the Showa Godzilla ones do, but I mean the first very like they're very visible.
Yeah.
Well, 98 kinda has gills you can clearly see.
But we don't talk about that one, ET.
I know, but I still like to talk about it because I know people have a special place in it for.
Okay, the more I look at it,
Whenever it comes to first ET, I don't count it.
okay, the more I
Haxor.
look at it, slap some 2004 years on 2014 or 2019. Best Godzilla design in my opinion.
And I do think that it will continuously get better. But I think we can all agree Kong will be taller, little more gray hair, and a little more muscular.
I hope he has a beard.
Right?
I think I remember seeing like some sort of Photoshop edit of King Kong that like looked almost exactly like what I would expect him to look like in the movie.
I want him to have a beard.
I don't know. I could see where that could be interesting. I just don't know if it would work. I mean, I like the idea. It's interesting and unique. Care to explain a little bit on that, Haxor?
Well, I don't know. I just saw concept art, I think, or something. It's this art. It kind of looks like he has like a beard.
He should have a braided beard.
Oh my god!
Pull
and it would
four.
also show his age like a lot.
He should look like a Viking.
Oh my god!
Oh,
I can already picture that.
Speaking of Kong's design, how much taller do you think he will be?
He'll probably be at Godzilla's chin.
Maybe a little bit short. Maybe a little bit shorter. Maybe a little bit taller. He will be definitely shorter than Godzilla, but not by that much.
Unless they want to be very out of this world. I do think I agree with you guys. It'll be from his chin to the end of his neck. I feel like that's the range Kong will be.
I think end to his neck is a little too small. Because looking at my 2019 figure,
I know. Yeah, exactly.
he would stand no chance. Like he'd break if Godzilla.
I'm looking at my giant Jack Pacific on the top of my bookshelf, and I don't see that happening.
I mean, I'm just saying that's like the extent to how tall or how short he could be. That shorter than that, he's basically screwed. He cannot work.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
800 meters.
Well,
800.
wait, really quick. Do you want to go over Mechagodzilla unless they do decide to do that?
We already.
Yeah. Well, we kind of touched on that. I do think Mechagodzilla is basically confirmed because of Ready Player One. So I do feel like we're getting him.
Imagine a Mechagodzilla solo movie.
That would be interesting.
That
I
would be
don't want
interesting.
him in the movie. I would want them to bring him into a post-credit scene where
If they
they're
could
like,
make it work, I'm all.
yeah, me too. But like
Like I said, I really hope my theory with the tag team with Godzilla, Mothra versus Kong and Mechagodzilla is true.
I don't know if I would want that.
I don't think that if that does happen, Haxor, I don't think it'll be exactly. I think it'll be Mothra and Godzilla teams up, and then Mechagodzilla and King Kong won't team up, but they'll still be fighting one another. But they'll be leaning towards. They'll be like they'd be throwing two punches towards Mothra and Godzilla, and be only throwing one punch between one another. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
They'll still be fighting one another, but just not as much as Godzilla and Godzilla and Mothra.
Imagine a kaiju civil.
That would be cool,
I
though.
could, yeah. I do think. I mean, I like that idea, but if they do bring Mechagodzilla in, I feel like it should be a Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla movie, and that would be an actual awesome idea to have Stance working on the Mechagodzilla, and then in a Godzilla 3 launching him, and then that's who would be fighting, or who Godzilla would be fighting during the movie. But I don't.
He doesn't have that type of funding, though.
He might, because he works for the U.S. government / United Nations.
I think would be.
Wait, are you talking about Dance? Charles Dance?
No, Stance, the military guy.
I thought you said Dance, but I wasn't sure. Then yeah, they'd have enough funding.
Who do you think would be a good pilot for Mechagodzilla if they do introduce it?
Riley Beckett.
I mean, we haven't seen the characters in Godzilla vs. Kong yet, and if they did have a Mechagodzilla pilot, it would be in that movie. So
probably Alexander Skarsgård.
I think that's who would probably be.
Or he would be controlled from like a terminal.
That's another idea I thought was a.
I don't think they would do that because of the fact that it's kind of like tradition that you don't do that.
Well, I mean.
Well, 74, the original. Was controlled.
74, I guess.
And plus, it would be more realistic to have him from a terminal, I think.
Especially nowadays with the wireless technology we have. Plus, even like Kiryu, I'm pretty sure originally he was controlled.
Kiryu was controlled through remotely, but then
then he could be manually overridden.
No. He could, but the reason why they did it was because he would get. It would get damaged, and then they would have to go out and repair it. And then, I think it happened. Did it happen in both of them? Where I know in SOS, the repair guy got stuck in there, and because Godzilla welded the door shut. But did that happen in the first?
That was SOS.
What happened in Against? I can't remember what happened in Against.
He went berserk.
Yeah, and then, well, at the end of Against, he used the absolute zero cannon, and it froze over. And
No. I meant how did the girl get stuck in there?
It's either she may have piloted it inside.
Well, I think it went berserk and.
No, it didn't get berserk. It didn't get berserk in the final fight. I remember that.
Oh, well, yeah, no.
I don't recall. I think what had happened was it went berserk because it was being controlled wirelessly, and then they controlled it manually for the final fight, and she was the pilot.
I thought what had happened was it got the remote the remote control, whatever. I think it was like the satellite dish or something couldn't like reach it or something, so they had to manually override it, and you put in the commands for whatever they wanted it to do manually, and that's why she went in.
That might have been it, but I do think because I mean you have Pacific Rim, and that's piloted with 2 people, and I don't think they want to have it confused with that because for some reason movie companies think that the audiences are stupid, so they have to try and spoon feed every bit of info.
Yeah, because I think there was a scrapped scene from 2014, and it was scrapped because it was too similar to Man of Steel.
Here's the thing. There's with the exception of Kiryu, in almost every single version of Mechagodzilla, either a person gets injured whenever Mechagodzilla gets destroyed, or somebody dies whenever Mechagodzilla gets destroyed. Except for with well,
yeah,
no. Actually,
I'm
no.
pretty sure
With Kiryu, actually they did get injured too because like the
Well,
guy had to fall
that's a
out
guarantee.
of Kiryu, and that probably hurt. And then like the woman, she like got knocked out whenever she went inside of Kiryu.
Well, I mean that's a guarantee. I mean if you're controlling a mech and fighting a giant monster, you're guaranteed to get injured.
Well, I
I
mean,
mean, whether it's just
the aliens weren't inside of it, and they got killed right afterwards.
True, because they tried to escape and their ships got blown up.
What I'm trying to get at is, whenever the machine does get broken, I want something to happen at the control center to where people get injured, as sort of a callback to the fact that like whenever like one of these machines would go down, stuff would happen back at home base or like in the actual cockpit itself.
Kind of like how Dr. Mafoni trying to control Titanosaurus, how the circuitry started to spark and killed Katsura. Yeah.
And plus whenever Mechanicon got destroyed, the day afterwards, King Kong went and killed Doctor Who.
Yeah, and I was going to bring that up. Is there a possibility that it could be Mechanicon? Do you guys think that?
Well, the rights are really hard to get because like it's owned by 2 different people, I think.
Oh wait, it is?
No,
Yeah.
it's just from what I recall, Universal made a claim that now has been proven that they could have actually Toho could have gotten away with it, especially now that Kong's in public domain. They said at that time that they couldn't use Mechanicon because it was too much like King Kong, which now that it's called Mechanicon, Toho owns the rights to that, and now that Kong's in public domain, they can freely use that character, I believe.
Okay, well, couldn't they just make another robot monkey and call it like Robo Kong or something?
Yeah, they could easily do that.
I don't see why they wouldn't just do that.
I'm gonna check something real quick. I'm gonna see, because a perfect way to find out is look for a trademark symbol for the character, and if there's a trademark symbol, that means Toho owns the rights to that.
I don't remember what's the difference between like trademark, the C. What's the C stand for again?
Copyright.
Yeah, copyright.
And reserved.
Yeah, rights reserved. What's the difference between those 3? I can't remember.
From what I know, rights reserved is it's been leased out, and all the rights are reserved to Toho. And
like
then whenever it's
2014, 2019 is rights reserved, right?
Yes. And then the TM, whenever it's just that, it's Toho directly doing that. I think. I could be very well wrong. But
from what I remember, like the rights to King Kong is like up in the air and like who exactly owns it. Because doesn't like RKO Radio kind of own the rights to it, and then like Universal kind of owns the rights to it, and then didn't at one point even
Miriam C. Cooper Estate. Okay, so from what I know, Universal owns the rights to the story of King Kong because that was made in 1933. So you can't have a King Kong climbing the Empire State Building scenario because that's Universal. However,
I think you
the
could probably
name-
have them climb it up, but not have like the whole entire story be exactly the same.
yeah, and then at the end of and then Kong, that's public domain because the name King Kong was used in the it was early 20s or something, and it's recently fallen under public domain, I believe. Kong has had a really bad rights issue.
Yeah, I know that.
So basically, it's like you can't do the story of Kong or King Kong. You can't use the term King Kong, but Kong is perfectly fine. And I have just been reading, and Mechanic Kong did not first appear in King Kong Escapes.
Oh yeah,
So,
Even I could tell you that.
wasn't he in like the
He
cartoon?
appeared in a cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes. Now that was made by Toei, and I don't know if that means Toei owns the character.
Well, Toho might have completely bought the rights to the character.
Let's see. I do. Okay, it looks like it doesn't own. Toho can't own Mechanic Kong. So I'm not sure where Mechanic Kong lies. That might be Universal after reading. But I mean, like you said, Haxor, it could easily be Robo Kong or something like that.
Yeah.
He was also in a comic. So
He was?
yeah, he was in Adventure. Wait, hang on. I'm reading. He was in the Godzilla King of the Monsters. It was a manga series in the 90s.
Oh,
I know
wait,
what you're talking about.
I think I know what you're talking about.
With King Godzilla?
Well, that's
no,
unofficial.
I don't think that's it.
Mm-mm.
Oh no, like I mean like the Godzilla was like there is one that's official.
Yeah,
But it's not King Godzilla. Like there was another hybrid, but it was official.
I'm not sure. And he was also
the hybrid between Biollante, Batra,
That
King
is
Ghidorah.
King Godzilla. The one that's
Yeah.
not official is Godzilla.
Yeah. He was also in Adventure Godzilla Land 2 in 1993. So they may have the rights to it. He was also in Battle Baseball for the Famicom
Oh
and
yeah, I forgot about
Konome
that. Yeah.
YY World. So
They probably have the rights to it then, considering the fact that he was in that game.
yeah. So I mean,
that seems like something too small to where, like, they would have bought the rights just to be able to put him in that game. You get what I mean?
yeah, exactly. You're right. Yeah.
So they probably do own the rights. I completely forgot about that. Now that I look back at that and remember that, I can almost say for sure they own the rights.
Yeah. I'm just double checking this real quick. And man, there is nothing about the rights to it. I'm trying to see, but yeah. So, do you guys think that they could do Mechanic Kong, or generally is it not going to work? You think?
I don't think. I think they
Okay,
do. I think they'll do.
Okay, this is what I think they should do. I think they should have King Kong at some point in the movie climb into this robot suit named Jet Jaguar.
Oh, hey.
Now, please tell me you get that reference.
I do.
We're joking.
I do.
Yes, I got it. Yeah. Yeah, there is nothing about Mechanic Kong's ownership and the right.
It's because I own it.
Interesting.
Is it in the public domain? Maybe it's in the public domain. Ooh.
Oh, never mind. Here it is. The character of King Kong is not in public domain. Universal doesn't exclusively control it. The original story of King Kong is in public domain.
I thought
since
we
the
were looking up.
copyright was.
I thought we were looking up Mechanic Kong.
I know I
me
was.
too.
It's just that was one of the things that hold up
Oh,
whenever I looked it up. I'm reading on about the unused Godzilla versus Mechanic Kong. Okay. So Turner Entertainment, who held the film right to King Kong at the time, demanded a large amount of use Kong in the film. Toho attempted to use Mechanic Kong in the film instead, still demanded payment, alleging that Mechanic Kong was still too close to King Kong. Oh, so Toho does own the ownership. However, if they did try and do it again, they could probably get away with it and nobody could actually sue. Basically, from what that's. So, I think that's our answer. That's, yeah, it's not at all. Well, like, it's not out of the realm of possibility. So, let's see. We've covered monsters. We've covered special effects. Story elements. We'll touch on that real quick, and then we'll wrap up here. What do you guys think about the story of Godzilla vs. Kong? What could they?
what do you mean? We can't do that yet. We don't know the story at all. You can't do that.
Yeah.
True, but we could hypothesize what it could.
A giant ape and a giant lizard beat the crap out of each other. Beat the schnauze out
There
of
you
each
go.
other.
Well, like, a lot of people were condemning King of the Monsters for not as much human character development. Do you think that'll change, or do you think they'll stay with that?
Wait, whoa.
Jesus, what do you want from these movies?
Hold on.
I was
wait 1
perfectly
second.
fine with
E.T., wait, who said that? Who's saying
a
that?
lot. All critics said there wasn't enough human development in
Okay.
King of the Monsters.
Okay.
That's BS.
All right. Sure. Sure.
I mean,
Sure.
I didn't mind it, but do you think they will go back to a 2014
I hope not.
perspective?
I hope
Yeah,
not.
they better not.
Yeah. So
If
basically,
they do, I might walk out of the theater.
I can kind of see.
The only way I'll walk out of the theater is if King Kong kills Godzilla,
They legally can't do that.
But
which is good.
True. So we've covered basically the entire movie. I feel like we've touched on King of the Monsters, and I feel like we've kind of brought it around talking about King of Monsters again, on how they should stick with the less human characters and more giant monsters fighting. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, well then, I guess this is a good place to end it. We've kind of gone a little over time, but we had a good discussion, except for the parts where I was rambling on about movie rights. I like those things. Of course, if you're listening to us on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you can be notified whenever we upload a new video. If you're listening to us on any other platforms, such as iTunes, or where you can place and leave a review, please rate us. That helps us with our ratings, and we hope that you enjoy listening to us ramble on for an hour and a half on Mechanic Kong movie. And of course, check out our Twitter at Kaiju Converse. That's KAIJU_CONVERS. Or if you don't have a Twitter, you can email us at kaijuconversation@gmail.com. And just recently, we have opened up a store, which you can find on the About page of our YouTube channel. Or I think if you just look up Kaiju Conversation TeePublic, it should pull up somewhere in there. But I think I've linked everything. Of course, I'm ET13 Productions. You can find me on YouTube at Productions. Where can we find you at, Haxor?
You can find me at the YouTube channel of Haxorzilla.
Awesome. And Justus.
I said that very strangely.
Yes.
Kind
Justus,
of want to redo that.
is there anywhere we can find you?
This server.
Yes.
That's
Oh,
the
I
only
forgot
way.
to bring that up. Yeah. And if you have Discord, join our Discord server, which will be if you look up Kaiju Conversation on Google
I don't have
or
a
on the
channel
About.
anymore.
That is very true. So thank you guys for tuning in for this week's episode. And this has been your Kaiju Conversation for the week, where we talk big every week.